Steve Anderson, First Class Property Tax Appeals. We've known each other a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
We go way back.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you're here talking about this because I just personally got my property taxes in the mail, and I was like, I mean, it was stunning to me. And I called you, and I said, and you gave me the response. But there's someone watching here today that got their property taxes in the mail, and they think to themselves, you know, that just seems really high. Can you get your property taxes appealed and get them lowered? Is that possible?
Yeah, we do it all the time.
So your company, this is what you guys do?
Yeah, we've represented thousands of clients in Oregon and Washington, saved millions of dollars in the last 12 years.
Wow. So you've been doing this 12 years. And I remember just from talking and getting ready for our interview today that you were saying that you did hundreds of cases last year, and 94% of the cases that you appealed got money back or got tax relief.
Result in a refund or credit, yeah,
That's
to our
pretty
clients.
amazing.
Yeah.
A refund or credit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We're A students in the classroom, how's that?
Yeah,
94%.
exactly. Tell me about, we were talking about the apathetic response that people have toward their property taxes. They get their tax bill in the mail, they just pay it because they just don't think there's anything they can do.
Most people think they can't find City Hall. That's what it boils down to. And so that's why we don't have a lot of more involvement, in my opinion, by the taxpayers. Yeah. It's also a very opaque system in Oregon. You can't figure it out. It's, you know, there's two values. Most states don't do that, and you got issues along that line with what is the real value and what am I paying taxes on actually? What's the value I'm paying taxes on? A lot of times they don't know. It
seems daunting to think, you know, it's just easier to just pay it, and that's what we're talking about. So I got so many questions right now. I'm going to ask all of your questions so that we know what to do here. So if I want to get my taxes lowered, I think they're too high. I give you a call. You take us through a process. What do I have to do?
Just give me the tax account number, and if you had a purchase on the property in the last, say, 24 months, maybe a copy of your HUD-1 or something like that, or I can look it through our MLS and see. But I use that information, and then we ask a bunch of qualifying questions like any improvements on the property in the last 24 months, what's been done there that they don't know about, we don't know about, because we're not physically on the property, we can't look at it. And then make a decision based off that information. What you give us is what we kind of base our decision on.
So you'll tell me over the phone what you think I can approximately get, if anything.
Yeah, we'll come up with a value. We think the value of the property is based on the assessment date. And then take that number and look at your tax statement and say, we'll give you a ballpark of savings based on that information.
So, and once we get that, if you think there's a tax savings, then I can hire you?
Yeah.
What do you charge, by the way?
We charge $350 up front admin fee for a local hearing, and we charge 20% on the backside, whatever we create for savings for you.
So if you save me like $1,400 a year, then you charge 20%. Is that every year?
No, just no. If I could do that, I would.
You would, yeah, but you can't. Okay.
Yeah, it's $280 on the backside plus $350 up front. If you're in Multnomah County, it's $30 filing fee on top of that.
So how long does it take to do this?
The filings are due by January 3rd of this year, or next year, I should say. And the hearings take place in March, and usually refund checks are cut in April or May.
Wow. Yeah. And any homeowner can do this.
Any property owner can
Any
do that.
property owner.
Yeah.
So if they feel like, if you own a shopping mall, or if you own a crushed gravel pit, you can appeal your taxes if you feel that they're too high.
Yeah, it's any account out there can appeal. Any account.
So let's talk about the tax assessor for a minute. They're looking out for us, right?
No.
They're not.
Get that out of your mind.
Okay. What's the job of the tax assessor?
Their goal is to collect as much money as possible.
And
do it in a way that they can justify it. They have to.
Yeah. So there's no advocate for me. They pick a number, and can I say as much as they can get away with? I mean, is that?
The statute says they can put any number they want on an account. You have to prove them wrong. The statute says the taxpayer is wrong until they prove it in court that they're correct. So the assessor, whatever they say, is the rule until you prove them wrong in a hearing. It's the only court in our system where you're guilty to prove yourself innocent.
Until you interesting. So who's advocating for me? As a homeowner?
Our company would be it, and that's about it. The legislature's not, the assessor's not, the county commissioners aren't. So, it's very one-sided.
If we wanted to see, let's say we take a look at our tax assessment or our bill that just came in the mail here, a month ago. If I look at that bill and is there anything that I can do to get an idea? Like if I think my house is worth this, but the assessment is, I mean, how do I know whether I should waste your time or not?
Well, it's not a waste of our time. I mean, we have a lot of short look at properties. We have a lot of long look at properties, depending on what's going on with the property itself, the condition of the property, the value of the property. Like I said before, purchases or remodels taking place, that kind of stuff, or appraisals on the property. But realistically, we offer that service for free, and we take a look at that situation, try to come up with a recommendation. And I don't want you to feel it's a waste of your time to do that.
Fair.
I have clients that come back, or potential clients, every year to send me their tax statement. Just email them right away and I get them. I look at them or relook at them and say, yes this year, no, we can't do it this year based on the information that's out there.
Give me a couple of stories. We were talking about the condos up on the West Hills.
Yeah. I got contacted by our home inspector through Realtor. He had a rental condo up on Skyline just above the zoo there. And it was an apartment complex converted over to condos, came on the market in like 2008. Remember, 2008 was a really bad year. And the few condos sold for like $350,000, and the rest of them sold for, half that a few years later. He was still being valued by the county almost $300,000 on that $150,000 condo.
So when the market just took that shift in 2008, they didn't adjust. They kept them where they were.
They adjusted, but they didn't adjust to the market did.
To the market, okay.
Yeah. And so when he contacted me, I said, yeah, you've got about $5,000 in savings here, a refund, if you will, if you do this. And he
a low-end condo?
Yeah, for a $140,000 condo.
Wow.
So then he had me talk to some of his neighbors. We actually filed 9 cases for the homeowners there and got them all checks between $4,000 and $7,000 a piece.
How much?
Between $4,000 and $7,000.
$4,000 and $7,000?
Yeah,
wow.
On a $140,000 condo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
wow.
it works across the whole spectrum.
Are there areas around town where there's where you're seeing a trend where, if you live in that area, you probably ought to do this?
Kings Heights, Forest Heights, Dosh Park in Southwest Portland, Dunthorpe. We've done a lot of work in Dunthorpe. The Vista Avenue, I call it the spine, going up the hill there towards Patton Road and all that.
Yeah.
Up both ways, we've done a lot of work up there. We've done a lot of work in Happy Valley, a lot of work in West Lynn, some stuff on the lake in Lake Oswego, and other properties also. But those kind of stand out.
Yeah.
A lot of condos in downtown Portland. We have a lot of business down there too.
Interesting. So, this is what I want to ask you. If an assessor comes to my front door, where I live, and they wanted to, hey, would you like to come in and take a look around?
No.
Okay.
No. Don't let them in. Not required to let them in. The Oregon Supreme Court's ruled on that. If you let them in, they're going to gather evidence against you. That's what they're there for. Yeah. And they're going to tell you, well, we're just trying to get the record right. Yeah, for them, they're trying to get the record right for them to substantiate or support their value to put on the property.
Okay.
Don't let them in. You don't have to.
So tell me a little bit about your credentials, how you got here.
Okay. I was a hearings officer in Clackamas County for 4 years on the Tax Appeals Board from 2008 to 2011. Okay. Heard over 2,000 cases there as a hearings officer. We had values ranging from a single wide manufactured home in Malala, about $4,000, up to and including Clackamas Town Center, about $165 million that year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything in between. I've done boat docks, I've done gravel pits, I've done, you name it, I've done billboards, I've been involved in all those decisions.
So any real property?
Any property with a tax account attached to it.
Okay, I can come see you.
I even do personal property too.
Steve Anderson, First Class Property Tax Appeals. Website is propertytaxavengers.com.
Correct.
Propertytaxavengers.com. If you feel like your taxes, your property taxes for any real property are out of whack, too high, call my friend Steve and let's find out.